Steven had a weapon that I always called lunch.
I've never met somebody with a more packed lunch schedule. Keeping his lunch calendar straight was no small feat, that's for sure.
That's how he got to know people. That's how he got his industry information.
He was the chairman of JSA, but that was only a very small piece of what we actually talked about. He would start the conversation with, every time, he would say, "What's going on?" And when he said that, he really meant gossip. He meant what's going on. He meant like who's been fired, who's been hired, who's not giving contributions, who is getting contributions, who's selling a lot. I mean, he wanted gossip.
Oh my God. He was the gossiper of the industry. If something were to happen within like 30 minutes, I'd get a call from wherever I was and said, "Did you hear what happened? Oh my God."
To some extent, he just wanted to enjoy what he did. He enjoyed work immensely. I mean, immensely. He loved work. He loved the networking. He loved, being in the industry, the advice. He'd been in it his whole life.
Steven was really an international guy in terms of Switzerland. He worked a lot with the different Swiss watch brands over the last, 30 years, and really brought the world together, here, being based in New York City, but really brought everyone, kind of here together and helped all of us.
He was also the guy, though, that went to Tourneau and bought like a Calatrava and needed, Andrew Turin to draw him a map of how to set, a diagram of how to set the time. So it was like, he could never get a watch that was too complicated because he wouldn't be able to work it. That was like Steven Kaiser in a nutshell. He was always in a rush, always meeting people, and always in a slight bit of chaos, I would say.
He was an amazing father. I think that people don't realize, he was out and about and he did a lot of, industry, charity work, but people really didn't know that he was very close to his two kids.
I mean, family meant everything to him. His kids were so important. He was just so proud of them. He was always there for them. I just remember walking back from lunches with him and him being on the phone with Emily or Jeff and talking through an issue or a challenge that they had. And he was a really good dad, and he loved his family, he loved the industry, and he loved the Giants. I mean, that in that order.
I first met Mr. Kaiser probably around 2002, where he and his son just randomly walked in to watch a football game. Not a football game, the Giants football game, because he's a passionate Giants football fan. He had this table, he sat at this table, which is behind me. Jeff was the craziest 11-year-old football fan we have ever seen in our entire life. And ever since then, that has become his table. The dedication plaque came about, obviously, since his passing. And we just wanted to do something special for him because he's always been special to us and done so many great things for us.
And the one thing you probably heard through a lot of people was I had to hear conversations about his tortoise that he walked all the time.
Well, I made the mistake that everyone does and first called it a turtle, and he was very quick, tortoise. And every time I ask him how Mikey was doing, he would say he's doing good.
It was the oddest thing because it didn't make any sense for Steven. I mean, he went to the grocery store and would buy this tortoise, fresh vegetables and cut it up. And he just loved, he just loved Mikey. I mean, he used to take him to Riverside Park, when it was nice, and walk the tortoise, he used to say. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna walk the tortoise.
If I could describe Steven in one word, he is my quirky, special friend that I will always just keep in my heart. I love him and I miss him every day.
I definitely will miss him getting on me about whatever it is that I was supposed to be doing or getting onto, because sometimes some of those initiatives would, take the back burner to some other things, and he would be right on you, making sure that it got done. He's just going to be missed, and we try to, remember him and keep his spirit alive and what he did really, really well for our industry. And I certainly will try to do my share of that.
Steven was obviously super smart and brilliant in business. But I think the thing that set him apart the most was his amazing amount of empathy. His ability to put himself in someone else's shoes as opposed to just looking at it from his perspective, I think helped make Kaiser Time so successful. And I think that that's something I very much learned from him is the destination is important, but how you move through to the destination is really, really, really important. How you treat people, how they feel, how you manage a team. Those things, I don't even think he knew how good he was at it, but he was really, really good at it.
Yeah, his legacy is not a building that's up. It's not some building or something. It's that the personal leadership he provided to the industry and the tremendous advice and friends and support he gave to so many people in the industry for so many years.